continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Lola Albright as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington.
To the casual observer, Martin Peyton has outlived everything he stands for. A steadfast tyrant in a world that has outgrown tyrants. But to the more practiced eye of Stephen Chord, he is still as effective and lethal as a well-aimed dueling pistol.
He's here. Where's that band I ordered? It's all right, Miss Nolan. This is not a general inspection.
You never know.
I suppose you want to run down Rodney's case.
I think I made it clear to Mr. Peyton that I work for Leslie Harrington.
Then I guess I'm the one being honored by his presence.
Afraid so.
Mr. Peyton.
Stephen,
Sir?
You're looking well.
you haven't disappointed me, Dow. After 14 years, you're still drawing from that same old This Bucket Dictionary of cliches. Now, where can I sit?
In here.
You're Stephen?
Yes.
Craton.
Hello, Mr. Peyton.
Sit down, Stephen. There. Isn't that more comfortable than listening at the keyhole?
Mr. Peyton.
Ah, an illusion, Mr. Dowell. I assume you keep no secrets from your associate, so he can easily find out what we discuss.
Your account entitles you to certain privileges, but they do not include insulting allusions to this office.
Now, Mr. Shuster...
Mr. Peyton, do we understand each other?
I understand why you took my account. Now, if you'll allow me some small use of that large retainer your office is enjoying. Now, Mr. Shuster has received an offer for the mill. I want you to check its validity.
Isn't that Mr. Schuster's domain?
Mr. Dowell, allow me to draw the boundary lines. It's from a Mr. Fletcher, representing Kenneth Markham Enterprises. Call me when you have the information. Now, there's something else on my mind.
Does this mean that you don't agree with Schuster's plan for automation?
There'll be no more talk of automation until my grandson's trial is over.
Mr. Peyton, that may take weeks.
I'd have thought that you, as a lawyer, would be among the first to grasp the art of good public relations.
I don't see that.
Of course you don't see. You don't see that even the slightest suggestion of further layoffs would result in increased, intense hostility toward the management of this mill.
Rodney has nothing to do with the mill.
Would you care to convince the jurors of that? I should be most unhappy if my grandson paid for their unemployment with his life. Don't you agree, Stephen?
Yes, Mr. Peyton.
Now then, when will we know about the judge?
This afternoon,
Where?
the courthouse.
What time?
4 o'clock.
See you then.
Are you planning to be there?
What does it sound like?
May I ask why?
Because I want to.
Well, I'm sure Rodney would appreciate it, but I'm afraid it would do more harm than good.
Rodney is my grandson.
Exactly. That's why I agree with your decision concerning the mill. Now, you must make the same one about the trial, for the same reasons. You walk into that courtroom It might just look like you were there to approve the choice. My advice is stay out.
You want to bar me from my own grandson's trial?
I'm suggesting it.
I'll consider your suggestion.
As you wish, Mr. Peyton.
My daughter's monument. I wanted several designs. Have the present headstone removed as soon as possible.
I can't. Leslie Harrington, as Catherine's husband, has primary rights. Papers would have to be signed.
Get them signed.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Miss Anderson.
Yes, sir. Mr. Peyton's expecting me.
He's not here.
Oh, when do you expect him back?
Well, I have no idea.
Thank you.
You've come about the job. I'd be very happy to explain your duties to you. It'll only take a few minutes. After all, they're not all that complicated. Right in here, please. Now, you will act as nurse companion for Mr. Peyton. You'll serve him his food, see that he gets his medicine on time. Oh, Mr. Peyton requires 2 hypodermics a day. Now, it's extremely important that they be administered exactly on the dot. 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Oh, perhaps you'd like paper and pencil to take some of this down.
No, that won't be necessary.
I'm sure you won't find your duties too demanding. Now, as for uniform, I think it should be something neat, simple.
Mrs. Chord.
A question, Miss Anderson?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Are you finished?
Right offhand, I can't think of anything else.
Then if you'll be kind enough to have Mr. Peyton call me when he returns, thank you.
I believe I've already told you everything you need to know.
I haven't made up my mind whether I want the position. And since Mr. Peyton offered it, I'd like to give my decision to him.
But I assumed...
I'm sure you did, Mrs. Chord. But I'm not about to be a glorified servant for Mr. Peyton or you. I want my duties defined by him, and if they're acceptable... If you'll just deliver my message, please.
Well, where are you going?
Home.
Why?
I was under the impression my appointment was with you.
You don't have an appointment. You have a job. Beginning right away.
I haven't even decided.
Of course you have. You wouldn't have come here if the answer was no.
All right. But first I'd like to state my terms. No uniforms. I am sick of them.
So am I. What else?
Hours, duty, money.
Oh, we'll work that out. To our mutual satisfaction. Tomorrow. Well, now that I have you, what can you do? Card tricks? Yodel? Play chess?
No, no, no.
You don't play chess?
And I don't yodel either.
You don't play chess. Well, you're about to learn. Mrs. Chord, a chess set.
Yes, Mr. Peyton.
Before we begin, Miss Anderson, let me warn you, I cheat. Come in.
Well, Mr. Peyton seemed his usual gregarious self, didn't he? Like one of his memos come to life.
I prefer the memos.
Did I ask how the meeting went? Well, I guess I shouldn't ask.
That man is like something out of another time. He's a full-blown walking anachronism who hasn't got enough sense to lie down and let progress walk all over him. And he doesn't care a thing about this operation. It's the men he doesn't want to lose. The control, the power over them, over us. Well, you lived under the Harrington regime. Julie, I understand that you watched the results of Harrington's strategy from a privileged position.
What has he been telling you about me? He's been drawing from his inexhaustible bag of gossip, hasn't he? Repeating old scandal about me and Leslie Harrington.
Is it true?
We had something more than a business relationship, if that's what you're asking.
And now?
I don't know. And neither do you. You're just afraid that everything you tell me is going to go right into Leslie Harrington's ear.
You're the only one who can answer that.
Then why don't you ask me?
I don't want to.
Up until 2 minutes ago, it was very nice working for you, Mr. Shuster.
Now, Julie, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
For what? The next questioning look? The next oblique reference? Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Shuster. I think we'll both be a lot more comfortable if I just resign.
I don't want you to resign.
Well, then what do you want?
I want your honesty and your loyalty.
And you think you've been shortchanged in that department?
No.
Until now. Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have told you everything when you asked me to go to work for you, but, well, frankly, I didn't see what it would accomplish. I still don't. Mr. Shuster, I have never allowed my past to come into this office. I don't think I ever will. But from now on, it doesn't matter what I say or do. It won't make you change what you think. Look, I can't tell you whether to trust me or not. You have to make that decision.
Will you have dinner with me tonight at the inn?
Well, is that a vote of confidence?
A deductible one. We'll be discussing business. I had a phone call from Kenneth Markham Enterprises this morning. I have to draft the reply.
Well, I'm afraid you picked a rather vulnerable place. You're going to be setting yourself up for pot shots.
I have 2 bulletproof vests on order. 7:30?
I'll meet you there.
Yes? Yes? I said yes.
Well, what are you doing here?
I'm organizing a drag race among the wheelchair patients. Do you want to be referee?
Yeah, sure. Where's your nurse, Miss Shaw? Miss Shaw?
Can I hide in your office, please?
All right.
Would you close the door, please? You're still mad at me, aren't you? Don't be mad. I've forgiven you.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you.
Watch me.
Very good, very good. Watch it. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's all right. Oh, Stella, this is Allison McKenzie. Allison, this is Stella Chernak.
Why do you
She's
do
my
that?
assistant.
Sorry, I knocked over all those things.
No, that's all right.
Chernak. Do I know somebody named Chernak? Yes, the lady who works for the Schusters. Are you any relation to her?
Yes, she's my mother.
Well, I think we better get you to therapy. Us Garing will be looking all over.
Wait. Don't you have a brother? His name is Joe, isn't it?
Yes.
How is Joe?
He's dead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. When did that happen?
Well, you don't have to worry about that. All you have to worry about is getting to therapy without burning all the rubber off your tires. It looks like I'm going to have to get you there.
Oh, there you are. I've been simply frantic.
And very inadequate, too, Miss Shaw. You're not supposed to leave the patient sitting around in the middle of the hall. Would you please take her to therapy now?
Yes, sir.
drop in.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Are you busy?
No, not really.
How's Connie?
She's visiting Allison. I just don't see the point in going over there with her day after day when Mike Rossi won't even let me into the hospital room. I sit in a lounge with a whole herd of expectant fathers and feel my blood pressure rise.
I didn't say that I thought you ought to go with her. How's tomorrow's paper coming?
I think Matt Swain would be proud of me.
Doing better than it's done in 20 years.
19 years. I think the Clarion made a fortune when my trial went on.
Yeah. Now it's making money because they want to know about Rodney's trial. It's natural. It's natural, so don't let it get you.
You know, I took this job because I was so sure I could wake everybody up. I wanted to show them Australia, Latin America, the common market. I wanted to show them the world. But just look at that front page. Rodney's trial makes up half of it, of course. But then there's Mr. Montgomery, who's a garbage collector for the West Side, who has his gallstones removed. And Mrs. Rose has triplets the same day her cat gave birth to 15 kittens. Anyone wanting a kitten, please contact her son, Billy. Andrew Crowell, local boy, won a National Merit Scholarship. He plans to attend Harvard. And tomorrow's the beginning of National Be Kind to Birds Week. I think the only war on that front page is the annual one between White River and Peyton High and the basketball courts.
And that's enough war for the kids around here. You've got a good newspaper and people like to read it.
But that doesn't necessarily make it any good.
Why, sure it does. It's a good small town paper. Why, an editor in a one-horse town in Western Australia could use that edition tomorrow if you just change the proper names. And people are interested in garbage collectors. They like them. When one of them has his gallstones out, they want to read about it in the paper. Not about some fella that the Red Chinese are going to shoot off into space.
I think it took you approximately 15 seconds to convince me of the Clarion's value.
Well, good. You're getting soft. It used to take me an hour to talk you out of those moods. You picking up Connie for dinner?
No, she's eating with Allison.
Oh, well, I've got kind of a hasty stew in my refrigerator. Mrs. Maloney brought it to me because I gave her another month on her bill at the chandlery. I hope you'd help me eat it up.
Well, I suppose even that's better than eating alone.
Elliot, don't give up on Allison.
Well, the situation doesn't look too promising.
It'll work out.
Don't you ever run out of hope?
Yes, I did. When they sent you to jail. But you know what happened? You came back just to be perverse and show that I was wrong. Son, it's amazing how things work out if you'll just give them time.
Yeah. Sometimes I find that pretty hard to believe.
I think it's harder to get rid of Mrs. Maloney's stew.
Hello, Mr. Dow. Come in.
Hello, Leslie.
We were just on our way to dinner, Tim.
Please won't take a minute.
Well, I think what he means by that is maybe you'd like to join us. We're meeting Stephen downstairs.
You know you're welcome. Thanks, but some other time. May I suggest that what I have to discuss with you might best be done in private?
Whose interests are you representing?
Martin Peyton's.
Oh, well, okay. I'll see you downstairs.
It won't be necessary, Rod. I don't know how to explain this, so permit me to simply state that Martin Peyton wants to remove the present headstone on Catherine's grave and replace it with a large monument.
He can't touch it.
Only with your permission.
How dare he presume to send you here with such a request?
Try and understand, Leslie. I had no choice.
I understand now why he came back. Dad, I don't understand why you're so mad. Your mother's memorial. The public pronouncement that she is innocent, and I'm guilty of Elizabeth Carson's murder. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but couldn't it be that Grandfather wants to erect a larger monument to Mother's memory? No, Rod, it's not that simple. I feel obligated to tell you, Leslie, that Martin Peyton anticipated your refusal. He intends to construct a suitable memorial to Catherine Peyton and to place it on top of the hill on the site of the Peyton family plot.
Did you hear that? A suitable memorial to Catherine Peyton. Not to Catherine Harrington, no. To Catherine Peyton. Now, do you understand?
I'm sorry about this, Leslie. I'll give him your answer. Good night. Good night, Ronnie.
I'm going to see your grandfather.
Dad, listen, there's no use in antagonizing. You know, we can use all the help we can get.
And you don't think we can win without his help, is that it?
Listen, there's a lot of fight fans in town for the trial. We better get downstairs or they won't hold our table.
Good evening, Mr. Shuster.
Good evening.
I'm afraid it'll be a few moments, but you could wait at the bar. Would you like to do that?
I think we'll wait here.
Right.
Or would you like to eat somewhere else?
Well,
Oh, Julian.
Hello, Les.
Hello, Mr. Harrington.
Rodney.
Hello, Ronnie.
Hi.
How's Allison?
Well, she's much better, but it'll take time.
Good evening, Mr. Harrington. Your table's ready and waiting.
Why don't you give it to Mr. Shuster? We're in no hurry.
That's not necessary.
Oh, no, of course not.
We can wait. Go ahead.
Well, perhaps I could seat you all together. How would that be?
Well,
We have some work to do. Isn't that window table free?
Yes, I knew it wouldn't be long.
Thanks anyway.
This way, Mr. Shuster.
Dad, I haven't changed. You've got the wrong idea about what I feel towards grandfather.
I don't think so, Rod. Oh, here's Stephen.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Harrington. Rodney? That's Judge Jessup. He's officiating.
All right, I believe I'll have that.
Anything else, sir?
I checked with Wainwright and Kennerly. He's a newly appointed judge. Gave up an excellent practice. Fiscal and corporation law. Knows his criminal code backwards. Not much gets past him.
Tell me something, Stephen. When he looks at you in the courtroom, what does he see? Does he see a defendant or a human being?
He sees a human being, Rod. No one can be that impassive.
I'm afraid you're wrong, Mr. Harrington. He's a judge. He sees a defendant.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
Allison. Don't shut the door!
Stephen has convinced me not to appear at the trial. It's just as obvious to me that you should stay away too.
When that trial opens, I'm going to be there with my son.